Hello everyone, my name is Julia Knapp and I wish to welcome you to today's podcast. Our guest is grief support expert and author David Pearce Jr., who is the editor and one of the authors of an inspiring anthology called Living with Grief, 36 Lessons from Life. Today's interview will be focusing on how caring support may help those suffering loss make their own decisions on how to grieve. We will be talking about this newly released book and about how each person's experience of severe loss may provide unique personal insight on how he or she might live with grief. Welcome, David Pearce.
Hi, Julia. Thanks for inviting me. I'm grateful to be here with you, and I am a fan of your own work in the field of death and grief.
Thank you, David. Now, David Pearce is an authority on the importance of caring grief support. David has joined us today to talk about how the varieties of grieving experiences demonstrate that each person's experience of loss is unique and offer guidance in how he or she might best go about grieving. David, thank you again for joining me on this live interview. I understand this is the second edition of the anthology and that you have worked very hard on it. My first set of questions is about the importance you place on grieving on one's own terms in general and your background and experience in the field of bereavement support, so people in our audience can understand who you are, where you are coming from, and how you decided to put this anthology together in the first place.
Julia, I knew nothing about death and loss until Judy and I experienced the death of our daughter Lily in 1999. Judy is my wife. Lily was our only child. I had never really considered the life-changing impact death and loss can have, but when Lily was struck by a car and killed, the shock nearly killed us, too. We tried going back to our jobs, but it was impossible. Our bosses expected us to smile and appear happy at all times. I began to understand that in the U.S. and some other countries, death and grief are almost never discussed seriously, and grief upsets people. They want us to feel better, but also cannot understand or bear the intensity of our feelings. Judy and I realized that our grief was, in a way, our closest connection with Lily. Even though it was nearly unbearable, we were not interested in getting over it or moving on or being healed. These ideas were absurd to us.
To listen to the full interview, just click the play button below. Thank you.